The book of Enoch is dangerous, and I'll tell you this. Because if you read 1 Enoch 7:14, it will try to explain as if Enoch was the Messiah. That means you ought to be a word surgeon to come from this, go to the book of Enoch, and be able not to confirm. Here we go. People tell you read it and read it and read it. So you got to understand it before you get there. And when you get there, you have to understand it from the point of view of the Bible to go like, hey, no. Let me read what he's trying to say. Am I talking?
Yes, sir.
Jesus says something and quotes something that is not in the Old or New Testament. When they asked him, sir, who will be this woman's husband in heaven? He says, you know, they are going to be angels.
Yes, sir.
Just like the angels. They neither marry nor be given in marriage.
Yes, sir.
And that reference, you find it nowhere else except the book of Enoch. Joshua 10, verse number 13. The sun stood still. Are you here?
Yes, sir.
And the moon stayed. Are you listening?
Yes, sir.
Until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is it not written in the book of Joshua? An inspired book is referencing an inspired book that is not in the inspired book. Numbers 21:14. Wherefore it is said in the book of the words of the Lord.
The book of
We have the Bible which is inspired, quoting that there is another book called the wars of the Lord. Not war. The wars of the Lord. That means it's so many wars that God himself fought.
Wow.
2 Chronicles 12, verse number 15. Now the acts of Rehoboam, first Rehoboam and last Rehoboam. Are they not written in the book of Shemaiah the prophet? We have Shemaiah the prophet. 1 Chronicles 29:29. Now the acts of David the king, first acts of David and last acts of David. Behold, they are written in the book of Samuel the seer, and in the book of Nathan the prophet, and in the book of Gad the seer. And they are not in your Bible. Jude, chapter number 1, there is only first chapter, 14 and 15. And Enoch also the seventh from Adam prophesied of this, saying, behold, the Lord cometh. Okay, so Enoch prophesied something that we don't have in the Bible. The other verse we have of Enoch, and Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. Then we have another one, then we have this one. Done. Enoch is finished. 2 Peter 2, verse number 1. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false prophets among you, who probably shall bring damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that brought them, bring up themselves swift destruction. That's what Enoch prophesied, as written in Jude. And Peter is referencing Enoch.
Wow.
And we don't have Enoch in our Bible. And you realize that the changes that happened in the book of Enoch was the reason why the Nicaea conference said, nope, we're not putting it there. Because according to that, the Ketuvim and the prophets, you understand? All that. That means Jesus was on a three-pronged approach. The prophets, Psalms, all that. He mentioned three, only three. And those three don't include the book of Enoch. I mean, Jesus told you the accepted syllabus. The law of Moses, the prophets, and what? The Psalms. At least he told you this is it. Before we get to the New Testament, these are the ones. Oh, someone say, oh, but the prophets. No. According to the Jewish tradition, they did not include Enoch. And even according to the Dead Sea Scrolls, Enoch, relax. Am I talking to you now? I want you to put the scriptures on the book of Enoch there. Now look at it. And they were in total what? You get into to number 6, right? Are you getting to number 6?
Yes.
Of course, we said from number 3. And Samaja, the leader, said unto them, and this is 1 Enoch 6:2. Why is this 1 Enoch 6:2? Because in other versions of the same book, it is called the whole book as one. Put another one.
Wow.
Now here it is. Start from verse number 3. Chapter number 3, Verse number 3. And Semjaza was their leader and said unto them, I fear you will not indeed agree to do this deed. I alone shall have to pay the penalty of great sin. And they all answered him and said, let us all swear an oath and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecations, not to abandon this plan, but to do this. This is when they were planning to fall from heaven.
Wow.
When they were planning to deceive humanity and sleep with the daughters of men. Verse number 5. Then swear they all together, bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And they were all how many? 200. Who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon and called it Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations. Notice here, they descended on Mount Hermon. And the word Hermon means rebellion. I don't know if you understand. Imagine angels meeting and then meeting there and say, we bind ourselves and we are going to do this as a rebellious move. Rebelling against who? Against God. Just so that you understand this. In the middle of nowhere, there is a country called Kazakhstan. But in that Kazakhstan country, what they managed to do is USA managed to give that city and other countries as well 50 billion US dollars to build a pyramid. Show the pyramid. You see that pyramid? At the top of that pyramid is where all world religions have decided to meet. Guess what? I want you to guess. How many seats are in there? 200. The book of Enoch tells us that
200.
they didn't get that.
Wow. Wow. 200. Oh.
And that pyramid is called Astana, Kazakhstan. Astana. Don't worry about it. You can go in the Greek and you can go into Italian or the Greek and you still come back with Astana, and if you rearrange the words, it's Saturn. And not only that, it's in the center of craters that are huge. Show the crater. Do you see that's a crater? Let's go back. Do you understand? That's the very location. 200 craters.
Wow.
No, they didn't get that. And yet, the book of Enoch is telling us that angels that were 200 fell. It didn't say they fell on Mount Hermon. Mount Hermon is when they made the covenant. But they fell somewhere else. And for some reason, a country that is way off goes to Kazakhstan, contributes to the $50 billion money. So they can build a location for world religions in Kazakhstan. Just show some seats around it in the same hall so that you see some of the seats that are in there. You see that? You can see the first round, you can see the second round. All those are 200 seats. And in the middle is a hall. And it goes to the third, fourth, down to the first floor. 1 floor, 2 floors, 3 floors. It is going down, and they call it the circle of peace. Oh. Yet it looks like the bottomless pit. I'm not saying this is what is happening. This Astana is on 33rd degree. Right? Boom. Boom. Go back to the book of Enoch. It is chapter 3, verse number 3. No, they didn't. They're missing it. They're still missing it. I told you where this thing is, 33rd degree, parallel. Then we get to Mount Hermon. Show Mount Hermon map. 33rd degree. Are you still listening?
Wow.
Now, Tower of Babel Hotel. Now look at this. The one that said tourist hotel there. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
All of you don't know what this is. That's the location of Tower of Babel.
Wow.
It's still on 33rd degree, parallel. Some people are not getting this.
Everything is aligned.
Show me the UN headquarters on Mount Hermon. Do you see that? That's the UN there.
Wow.
That's the biggest United Nations headquarters, permanently manned. Nobody's allowed to get there. And this is on the mountain where the angels, according to the book of Enoch, joined hands.
They agreed then.
They agreed on the same locations. Oh, they didn't get that. When Jesus said, the gates of hell will not prevail, he was standing at the foot of Mount Hermon. And the UN decides, we're going to build something on top of that. And then says, nobody should enter. They found a relic on the same location, gave it to the British Museum, and the British Museum has not shown it to this day. And to the point where they were trying to build even their third degree masonry temple. Let me show you their book called Morals and Dogma. I want you to see this bed here. Just Morals and Dogma. Do you see that book? I know you're not seeing something. Please show them another page that they are not seeing. What is the number written? Thank you so much. I don't know if they're getting what I'm saying.
They are getting it.
And when a Freemason person gets to a higher level, they are called the third degree Mason. I still see some people are falling. They are not getting it. And do you know who was the first one to be invited to that pyramid? Of course, the Pope. Do you know how many buttons are on the clock of the Pope? Of course, you guessed it. 33. Why 33? Because that's the age Jesus went to heaven. 33. Where was he transfigured? Mount Hermon. 33 degree. I want you to see something. Can you show me the logo of the UN? If you notice that it is how many? 8 what? 8 sections. 8 times what? Times 4 sections. 32. Plus the circle in the middle. Thank you so much. Please, you can put the World Health Organization logo there. All right. It seems as if we are still talking about the UN.
Everything is lined up.
33.
33.
Everything is lined up. And you think this is just happening. So you still have 33, 33, 33, 33, 33, 33. How come they never showed what they got from Mount Hermon? How can Mount Hermon sit on third? Astana, third degree parallel. UN, third degree parallel. Everything you can think of. The book of Luke, chapter number 24, verse number 44. And he said unto them, they are the words which I spake unto you, while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled which were written in the law of Moses, and in the prophets, and in the Psalms concerning me. Now, if you look at this, he says something. Watch this. It says, in the law of Moses, in the law of the prophets, in the law of Psalms. All right? If you look at it, we call it the kativum, which is when we deal with the Psalms. So it's in 3-pronged. Jesus is talking about the Moses, the prophets, the Psalms. That means he's referring to the Judaism's understanding of the prophets and the Psalms. Hear me well. But in the Judaistic way of talking, book of Enoch is not in those that he said. So it means Jesus never referred to the book of Enoch in the sense of this is what you should read.